Greetings, BUSN 1305, Introduction to Business, sections L03 and L04. So two different sections. You're following the same schedule, the same content. And welcome to the 2021 spring semester. Today is our first day. I'm Dr. McGrory, and I'm going to be your instructor throughout this semester. So welcome. I wanted to reach out to you today because I wanted to make sure that you have the information you need to complete your first 3 required assignments. So the first one, and you know this because you're following your schedule, is that you have to complete the required first attendance quiz, and that's going to be in pause. Now there's 3 of these attendance quiz, and they happen for the first 3 weeks. You can't do them all at once. You got to keep checking back in, so be on the lookout for that, but I'm going to show you how to do it. You're going to complete the required introduction discussion posting. That's how we get to meet each other in this online environment. You're going to read my discussion I've posted for you. I'm going to get to read your wonderful discussions, introduction postings, and you get to meet your classmates that way as well. So make sure that you do that. And most importantly, I'm going to show you how to create your Connect username and password. So we're going to talk about that. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. I'm going to switch over to my browser. I do use Chrome. You know, the big 3 browsers are Chrome, Firefox, and Microsoft Edge. Microsoft Edge is the one that by default is on your Windows computer, but it's nice to have multiple browsers. Safari, Macintosh people, I apologize, Safari. It's nice to have multiple browsers because sometimes if something doesn't work in one browser, if you try a different one, it might work. So be aware of that, okay? Now, I showed you in a previous video that you can come to the college's main page like this, and you could, as some people do, take the long road, which is to log into My Southwest and then to click the pause icon. A lot of steps there. Or you could come to the Southwest main page and then click this link for pause. Or, as I suggested, you could bookmark that eLearn website, and that way you would go straight to it. Okay, so that's what I did, and I took the extra step of now logging in. And as I've logged in, you might notice up here it says student Z_J McGrory. This is a demo account that I use for examples like this to show you the steps that you need to take so it looks just like what you would see. All right, so let's get started. Go to the course selector, or as I like to call it, the waffle, and find your course in that list. I'm going to pick our L03 section. L04 people, do not feel left out. You're going to follow the same steps. I set them both up the same. Now remember, I really do want you to read this entire page, and I've got links in there that will take you straight to what you need, including the assignments and including the website that you need. Okay, now this website is not the same if you are in section L04. Okay, let me just show you that. So L03 people, you see your website. I'm going to change. Now I'm in my L04. So L04 section people, this is exactly what you see. And notice that it's the same, but the website is different. Okay, I point this out for a really specific reason. It is so important that you start at the correct website. You will not earn points if you start at a different website or the wrong website. More importantly, if you just try to go to Connect and then use the tools in Connect to find a course, you will not connect. It will cause you so much consternation. It's just not worth it. So whatever class you're in, whether it's Intro to Business, accounting, something else, and they're using Connect, you need to know that website from your instructor. Okay, there's no course code. Some classes use course codes. There's no course code. It is the website that you must start at, especially this first time when you register. Alrighty, so let's do that. Now, I'm at the L04 now, and I told you I was going to demonstrate from the L03, so that's what I'm going to do. But L04 people, you're doing the same steps from a different website, okay? So I'm going back. Now, again, go through this page, read, read, read is so important. So important. Well, I'm a visual learner. Well, you know, you're studying for your career and your boss is going to give you materials to read. And so you practice that skill. You get better over time. I mean, I prefer people to tell me too, but I have to read stuff, right? So we're going to do that. Now, here's the first thing you're going to read down there. Go to content. Remember, content. Why? Because under content, everything is nicely organized for you so that you can find it. You can certainly find certain things under these other menu options, but it's just so much easier to start right here in content. As I look through content, there's my syllabus. I'm counting on you to read that as a first day activity. I have sent it if you were enrolled in the class last week. You may have already received a copy attached to an email. I'm certainly going to provide that again, but it's always here for you in pause. Read that syllabus. It tells you important stuff like how many attempts do you have on the test? More than one, more than one. How about assignments? Can I retake assignments? What about due dates? Do they matter? Can I just email my instructor and say, extend it, reopen it? Might want to check that out. Okay, but that's not part of our agenda. I'm going to go straight to our agenda because our agenda was how do I complete that first required quiz? So as I look through this getting started and table of contents here, as I look through this, I see assigned activities, and I'm going to click that. Okay, so now I'm in getting started and I'm under assigned activities and I see attendance, first reporting date. Now let me tell you how hard this is. I just clicked it and this is the beginning page and it says start quiz. I'm going to click that. And there's one question. It says, by answering this question, you agree that you're attending as of the date you answer. To be clear, you must answer the question below and then submit the quiz. If you wish to drop or withdraw, you can't do that here. You're simply answering here, right? Just like you would in class, as if you are in class. So, yes, I'm here, and you click submit. Oh, am I done? Not done. Click submit. Got to make sure I'm done. I click that. There it goes. Now it says done. And look at that. I've earned my points, right? At one attempt, I could take it again, but, you know, there's one answer, so what am I going to do? So isn't that awesome? That's the first place that you go. We went to content. We're under getting started. And under getting started, we found assigned activities. And we completed that first attendance quiz. And notice it even has a check mark there. Now, I'm going to go to my second agenda item, which is how do I post into the discussion board? Well, see the introduce yourself, so we're going to click on that. And here you can read all about me, right? And this is my introduction. And I see that some other students have introduced themselves, so I'm not going to scroll down further because you have to go into our class to read that. But what you would do is click Start a New Thread. And notice there it says subject line, and there it goes. My internet's a little bit slow, but here's where you would type your introduction. Give me a subject line, hello, introduction, something to that effect, and then you're going to type some type of introduction to let us know about yourself. And notice that you can subscribe to this thread so that you get alerts when other people have posted their introduction. That's an option for you. And when you finish, you will click on post. I'm not going to do that because this is a live discussion board, but I wanted to make sure that you knew how to get to where you needed to go. All right, back to content. And the third item on our agenda was how to create your Connect username and password. And we have talked about that the website that you start at is so important and that website is different, not just for the instructor, for each section of a course. Okay, so let's go back. We're going to do that now. Again, how did we get here? Content, getting started, assigned activities, and I didn't finish the just introduce yourself, but you will. You're better than me, so you will. You'll see my discussion out there. Now, here's, see this, required assignment, create your Connect username. Remember, you already paid for access, so you don't need to wait. Don't you don't need to think, well, I don't know if I have the money quite yet. I understand that concern. It's a very real concern. But what I'm saying is when you enrolled in the class at Southwest, at that time, you were charged a fee that paid for this. That fee, as you'll read in the syllabus, is the volume discounted fee negotiated by the state. You can opt out of it, I think until February 1st. Coordinate that with the bookstore. That's all between you and the bookstore if you're going to opt out. But you do need to have this access, and they teach this course across the entire state. And so when the state negotiates that price, you have to understand that's a pretty good volume, and it's a good price. And so I recommend that you stay with it. Okay, so you say, I don't remember opting in. You opted in by default. So unless you took very clear action to opt out, you have already paid for this access. Okay, so I can click on that link, and it's going to explain what I need to do. It even gives me some tech support numbers and that kind of thing. But if I read my Getting Started materials, let me go back to Getting Started, then I would have run across the Connect registration info, the link that is for your class section. It's right there under the table of contents, Getting Started. And even this Getting Connect set up, this is a page-by-page instruction sheet, right? So pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and set up my account, and I'm going to emphasize a couple things to you that are important, okay? So save an email, save you some stress later on. We'll just all go through it together, okay? I'm just going to click Connect Link for our class. Now, I do encourage you to look at those other documents. You want to make sure you're in the correct class, that it is the section of your class. So I am going to, let me think here for a minute. This is, you're going to put in your email. It can be either your Southwest email or your, I have to think for a minute, I'm sorry, or Gmail, Hotmail. It does not matter to me. Whatever email you are comfortable using, okay? Now, this is a pretend email, so don't copy me. You put in your email, right? I'm going to click on Begin. Now, you do need to take a moment and fill out this information, and make sure that you click the I agree button before you continue. And I don't know why this is listed twice here. It's always that way. I just leave it at the first one. I'm going to pause the recording for just a moment while I fill this out. But remember, it's your email address. Before I pause, there's one thing I want to really, really emphasize to you. Do you see that it says first name and last name there? Okay. I need you to put in that first name and last name field, first of all, correctly. Put your first name in the first name, put your last name in the last name, but it is the first name and last name that are on the college roster. Okay, you did pay for this access, and when you enrolled through the college. And so when we look at this, it needs to align. Your name in Connect needs to align with your name on the college roster. Let's say you are recently divorced, you are Mary Smith now, you were Mary Jones, and you don't want nothing to do with that name Mary Jones. Then you need to get it changed on with the college, and you need to contact the admissions office, admissions and records, about that. Because from the college's perspective, you are still, what did I say, Mary Smith, you are still Mary Jones, because you haven't updated with the proper paperwork. So you need, I'm sorry, but you do need to do that, okay? And I realize it can be an inconvenience. If your nickname, your real name is, I don't know, Fred, and you just really do not like the name Fred, your friends and family have always called you Big Johnny Boss, okay? Well, Big Johnny Boss is not your college name, okay? Maybe your friends call you, I don't know, Bob instead of Fred. I don't know. that's not your name with the college. So the name that goes in there is not your nickname. It is your actual name as on file with the college. Okay? Very, very, very important. Now I'm going to pause the video and fill in the form. So now I filled out the form and I clicked the continue button, and it's asking me if I already have a Connect account. Maybe you have used Connect in other business classes, accounting classes, whatever the situation may be. And if so, and if you just want one single sign-on, certainly find my account. For me, that's not the case. This is just kind of a little demo that I'm doing. So no thanks. I'm going to say I want to continue with this brand new email that I've put in. I do encourage you to be patient with each of these screens. Allow it time to go to the next screen. I'm confirming that this is the book, and everything is correct. If it says statistics, then maybe I got the wrong website, right? So let's do a common sense check there. Looks good. Confirm. I should have pointed out it told me I had 5 months. So they give you a little more than a semester, but you can read that. Now, you're not done yet, so do not close this yet. You're not done yet. Okay, it tells me this is when it's going to expire, July 18th, 2021. I'm going to click on Go to Connect. Now, I need to do this to get to my assignments. And I had a student email me, and I think this is it was a great thing that he emailed me about, and said, oh, I don't have anything due, so I don't need to do anything. No, 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 no. This says no assignments are due in the next 7 days. I actually kind of question that, but it is kind of a default to-do. See how it says to-do in that corner? This is kind of a to-do list. But click on Menu. I'm going to click on that again. I like to go to Classes, and then under Classes, any class that is associated with your account. Like I said, you may have other business classes, you may have an accounting class that's using Connect, but find our class 1305 and click on that. I will just give you a heads up, you may enjoy, these are some reports, some ways to view reports, and you may like those. But for now, I'm sticking with classes. Remember, I clicked classes and I clicked our class. Okay, now this is the view I like. You can see each one of our chapters, and all the assignments are grouped up, and you can see 3 assignments, 3 items, 3 items. You can see all the different items. I will point out some things over here. If you just simply have to have a printed book, that is something that you can order through this. It's a pretty good deal. You cannot use only the printed book for this class. You have to have the digital ebook because it's part of an assignment. So the digital is required. If you are a person who also wants some kind of printed or rented book, you see those options. You also see a link to the book, right? You see that over here. I'm sorry, down here. You see this? This is a link to just the book. But your assignments are all integrated in to this system, to the Connect system, including your book. The assignments are integrated with the book. Okay, I'm going to start with Chapter 1 and expand that. Now, do you see these assignments? And let's take a quick look. Look at the due dates. You see. Now, I'm going to tell you something. For these last 2 assignments, the video quiz and the homework, you simply will not be able to get into these anymore after the due date. But this first one, Chapter Learn Smart, this is your book. So even on January 26th at 11:56 p.m., you will be able to get in there. If you started at 11:50 and you're working on this assignment, you'll be able to continue working at 11:56, but you will no longer be earning points. So at 11:55 and 1 second, it's no longer grading. But since it is your book, you'll continue to have access. Okay, very quickly, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but very quickly let me show you how the Learn Smarts work and how these assignments. You would think you click on the assignment, but you don't. You go over here to this blue arrow, and it guesstimates 42 minutes. It tells you the start date and the end date, and it tells you the points. Now, before I go into that, let me close that. I want to show you so that you're getting all the information. For this quiz, start date, end date, and how many attempts do I have? Now, you may also be wondering, but I bet I'm penalized for those attempts. Are you, though? Maybe the syllabus would tell you about that. What about my homework? Start, end, how many attempts do I have? How many points? Am I penalized? Check the syllabus. Thanks. Okay, let's go into Learn Smarts. Just to get you started, I'm going to click Begin, because what I want you to see with the Learn Smart, and be patient with this, is I want you to see that it is the book, okay? And it's an interactive book. Now, I am on a computer. I'm not on my cell phone. As you work these assignments, it's advisable to use, like a laptop. If you don't have a computer, remember that the college has a laptop loan program, and I encourage you to check that out. Here it comes. There we go. Okay, remember I said the Learn Smart is your book. So the first time you open a Learn Smart assignment, what you're going to see is this introduction, and it says Smart Book is the first adaptive reading experience. Adaptive reading means that the Smart Book will measure what you know. Okay, as you read and answer questions, that's how you earn the points. You will be guided to the part of the book that you need to learn at that moment. SmartBook will help you study more effectively. Rather than just reading and your eyes glaze over, and if I asked you what you just read, you say, I don't know, this is going to keep you engaged in that reading and help you stop and reflect on, now what did I just read? What did I just know? So I like this, and I think you will too. So click on Show Me. Now here's what they're saying. You're going to read and you're going to practice. There's kind of two modes that this goes into. In the reading phase, you will see yellow highlights, and that helps you to understand what you need to focus on. Once you know it, how do they know that you know it? Because you answer questions in the practice. Then those yellow highlights may magically change to green. The system will update it and change it to green because you've mastered that now. Okay, so the highlights change based on what you've learned. After reading for a while, the practice button will glow, indicating that it is time for you to enter the practice phase. Now, in the practice phase, you will answer questions, and that's what you got to do, that measure your understanding and help you learn the material. If you're struggling with the questions, or when you read, when the read button glows, it's time to enter the read phase. Okay, so what's going to happen is you start missing a bunch of questions. Well, you don't just get to say, well, I guess I missed those. Oh, well, you don't get to the end of the assignment and you won't earn your grade unless you finish it. And so when you start missing the questions, it's going to make new questions on that same subject area. Okay, you might even see the same question repeated here and there. But it will actually speak to you. The book has a lady who talks to you, and she will say, perhaps it's time to read. Or as they said, the read button is going to start to glow. So going back and forth between the two phases is the best way to use the Smart Book and study more efficiently. So I'm going to click on Next. Now, this may seem obvious to you, but you might forget this as time goes on. Remember when we first came in and it said there's nothing due in the next few weeks, and you just kind of were like, what do I do with that? Well, I showed you those three bars that at that time were in the upper left-hand corner. That's how you get to the menu. So don't forget that. That's how you get to the menu. Click on Next. Okay, congratulations. We're ready to go forward. Next. Congratulations. Exit. Who am I? Oh, there's a gaming aspect. Are you a gamer? Have you become a gamer during this pandemic? Well, if you want to compete with other students around the world who are taking this, using this software and this program, go for it. Knock yourself out. Do it with your name. Do it anonymously. I do not require it, but if it's fun to you, I encourage you to explore that. So I'm going to click Cancel. Here we go. Now, what I want you to see is along the left-hand side, this is your book, and you can click on any of these pages, And it's just like a chapter in your book. You even have key terms at the end of the chapter, career exploration, some critical thinking stuff, just things that are available to you. The cool thing is, like key terms, they're all clickable, so it's completely interactive. You see my book is taking forever to load. All right, so you see the book opens up. I think I'm still kind of loading here. I'm on page 2. It's a big book, 694 pages there. I can scroll down. Now, when I scroll down, your eyes are fine. Do not adjust your computer screen, right? It's grayed out because what the book is telling me, I hover my mouse over it, says the text is dimmed because right now it's less relevant for you to study. You can always reveal the text by clicking it. So if you want to see what those learning objectives are, just click it and see how now you can see it, or scroll on and maybe read this profile of Anne Marie Campbell of Home Depot. You know, this really adds some great context to what you're learning, so you can read
To
that.
complete your Smart Book assignment, you toggle between reading and answering questions, an activity called Practice. You can do this at any speed you want, but when the icon below is pulsating, SmartBook suggests that you change what you do. In
Okay.
practice, you can see how many questions you have left above the progress bar at the bottom of the page.
So she's going to talk to us and remind us of what we need to be doing. I'm glad she came up. Notice that I just scrolled down to page 4, but this is a good opportunity to say I can go to my next page. It's probably going to take forever to load, so I'm not going to wait on it. But I can go from page to page over here on the side and continue reading. The one thing I did want to go to one other page because notice the yellow highlight. And remember, it told me that if there's something I need to learn, it'll highlight it in yellow. So I might need to know, what is a business? What is a good? What is a service? Might need to know that. But how do I earn points? Well, notice the practice button. Now, this is a toggle, meaning sometimes it says practice and sometimes it says read. But that read and practice button are going to be in the same spot there. So I'm going to click on practice. Now, the questions are different. Your first question may be
The
totally
practice
different.
phase will help you reinforce your comprehension of what you have just read. Once all the questions that SmartBook has collected for you so far.
Oh, okay, well, good. She need to go away. Okay, notice at the bottom there are 55 questions total that I need to answer correctly. If I miss a question, then I'll still have a question that I must answer correctly for a total of 55 questions that I must answer correctly. This is interactive. Your book is here for you. So, an organization that provides goods and services while seeking to operate at a profit is I kind of gave you a hint because the first question is normally related to this very key word. So right before we came into this, we looked and said we need to know, oops, if I can spell, I must be able to spell correctly. Now, the second part of this is, how much do you know it? If you typed business, but you were totally guessing, do you really know it? Well, there's reports that you can look at. Remember, I kind of pointed to those later on that will help you identify areas based on your strength. So this is a little bit of a gaming system also. I'm going to say that I know it, and it tells me my answer is correct. Awesome. Click on OK. Now, a product that is tangible, excuse me, can be touched or held in a product that is tangible and can be touched or held in your hand is what? And I'm supposed to click the answer that I think is right, but I don't know. So if I don't know, see down here where it says read about this, I can click on this. It's going to open my book, but over here on the side, you see that I can go back to the question at any time. So this is page 1 of my book. We saw it a little bit earlier. And notice that my yellow highlighting about a business has changed to green because I know it now. So I don't need to read about things that I already know. But it's also taken me to the exact spot and shown in yellow highlight that that's the answer, really, right? It was asking me about tangible products that are known as goods. So let me go back to the question. Now, again, the questions are randomized. Everyone may have different questions. One person may have to type out the word goods. In other words, maybe the word good is in a different location. They're scrambled, but it's all the same learning experience. You're going to be asked about the same definitions. You're going to be asked about the same concepts. So it's really a great way to interactively read through your book. Do you think this is a great study tool for the test? Absolutely. So I'm going to now, with my newfound knowledge, say that it's a good, and I do feel that I know it. And notice my questions are decreasing. I answered the first one correctly. There were 55 total. I went down to 54. I'm going to click OK again. And now I'm down to 53. So which of the following are an example of service? Well, I'm going to click on a new suit, which is not at all correct, and I'm going to click on I know it, and I got it wrong, and it's telling me the answers that were right. And now I'm down to 53 questions, and it stayed there. And I still have 53 questions to go because I've got to answer 55 total correctly. And you can do it, because when you do, you'll have read the chapter. You use your book, you click on read about this whenever you don't know. You're going to really drive that knowledge home. Okay, what if I want to go back to reading my book because this is so over my head? Chapter 1, don't get cocky, because if you feel confident in it, more chapters to come, okay? What if I need to go back to reading? Remember I said sometimes this is practice and sometimes this is read? You only earn points by completing the practice. But how can you complete the practice if you're not reading, right? So I click on read, it would take me back to the book. Okay, I don't want to work on this anymore. How do I get out? Well, don't I need to go to my menu? Remember the 3 bars? And what you're going to do is come down here and click on Leave Smart Book. Smart Book, Learn Smart, all the same thing. That took me back to our Connect assignments, and I still have, let's say I finished the Learn Smart. I still need to do the video quiz. I still need to do the homework. I think that you will find these kind of self-explanatory. You're going to go in, there's little video snippets, and you answer questions. If not, I can reach out to you more, and I can always do videos like this to address questions that you have. All right, so this video is long enough now. Hit the ground running. Let's get started. Follow that schedule and make sure you're completing these first assignments. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.